the author of Obama's America, Unmaking the American Dream, Dinesh D'Souza. You know, you interviewed Barack Obama's half-brother, and this was revealed. He lives in a hut in poverty, third world poverty, in Nairobi, right? Okay. You go over there, you interview him, and didn't he say we're to be our brother's keeper? Why? And yet he's only generous with other people's money, only spread the wealth around with other people's money. He's a millionaire. Why can't he give to his own half-brother? And what should that tell the American people?
Well, at the least, it tells the American people he's a hypocrite, right? He says one thing, which is to say, spread the wealth around, help the less fortunate, be your brother's keeper. But here's his actual brother, living, by the way, not in American-style poverty, but third-world poverty with sewage and slums and a shanty.
Then-candidate Obama had a half-brother living in the Huruma slum in a hut so small that when he stretched his arms out, he touched the two walls. And so I set up this little fund to help George, but the Obama campaign kind of got to him. They said, George, don't take the money. So George disappeared. He kind of went into hiding. I couldn't get him the money. But after Obama was elected, the campaign and Obama forgot about George. So 2 years later, when I was making the film, I contacted George, and George was, you know, kind of steamed a little bit at the way he had been treated, and only too happy to have me come down and interview him. That's how I got the interview.
And you did give him the money that you had raised.
I did. I turned it over to him, and he was thrilled to get it. And he was also, you know, a little defensive about Obama. He doesn't like to, he's also a proud guy. He doesn't like to say that he's dependent. But, of course, the point here isn't that George feels self-reliant. We admire that. The point is that there is a kind of blatant hypocrisy with Barack Obama, right? Here's Obama traipsing around the country.
Yeah, we're our brother's keeper.
Yeah, we have obligations to the less fortunate. Here's his own brother, and he won't lift a finger to help him.
All right, describe the hut that his half-brother lives in. Describe the life that he lives and the poverty that he lives in. Describe it for people, because you were there.
Yes, I mean, the Huruma slum is one of the worst slums in Nairobi. It's comparable to any slum that I've seen in India. We're talking here not about American-style poverty. We're talking about third-world poverty where where you step out of the slum, there's sewage everywhere. It's absolutely it's a degraded lifestyle.
I just don't understand it. I mean, fundamentally, you know, what would $1,000 be worth to George Obama in the poverty that he lives in?
It would be a huge, because we're talking here now about, we're talking about places where $1 goes a long way. This is, growing up in India, Sean, I obviously understand this very well. And I think what we're seeing here is, George is, by the way, not an isolated case. It'd be one thing if Obama is helping everybody but not George. Very interestingly, Obama's closest living relative, not counting his immediate family, Michelle and his 2 kids, is his father's sister. Why? Because his father and mother are both dead. So his father's sister is a woman named Hawa Auma, and she sells coal on the street in a small village in Kenya. She has no teeth in the front, and she wants to get her teeth fixed but has no money. She says she makes a couple of dollars a day. Again, somebody that the president could, by moving his little finger, help so easily, and yet he doesn't really bother. And I think it's, the writer Jonathan Swift once said there are people who love humanity, but they hate Tom, Dick, and Harry. They're all for the people, but actual people they don't really bother to help. Scheduled with his grandmother, Sarah Obama. And in fact, I got in to see her. I was sitting next to her. She was telling me about the family history, served our team Coca-Colas and so on. But it turned out that when she called Obama's sister, who lives in Nairobi, the sister told her, the grandmother, do not let Dinesh interview you. Why? Because they've been talking to George Obama. So George Obama is like the black sheep of the family, and any connection with George is apparently toxic. So that's how we couldn't get the interview with the Obama family, because we had spoken to George.
Yep. As you know, during the time of the election, there were some news reports in CNN and elsewhere. The theme of the articles was that Obama had not done anything to help you. Recently, President Obama spoke, and he was quoting from the famous story of Cain and Abel, that we are brother's keeper. Now, my point is, you are his brother. Has he been your keeper?
Go ask him.
I hear politicians talking about values in an election year. I hear a lot about that. Let me tell you about values. Looking out for one another, that's a value. The idea we're all in this together, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that's a value.
Recently, President Obama spoke, and he was quoting from the famous story of Cain and Abel, that we are brother's keeper. Now, my point is, you are his brother. Has he been your keeper?
Go ask him.
The idea we're all in this together, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper. Just words, just speeches. Don't tell me words don't matter.